Hello, everybody. This is Pete from PA Labs, and I'm picking up with video 4 on our Beginner's Corner videos. And we ended the last one off with the classic Hello World program. So the next thing that we kind of come up to is where do we go from here? So most manuals and most help systems are written on specific items. And so nobody puts the pieces together for you to be able to build an application. So you get all these little pearls of small pieces of code, and it's a big leap to say let's build an application, because an application may use thousands of these pieces of code. So what I'll do is tell you how I get started. That's about the only thing I can do, really. Um, and what I want to do is I start with forms. I visualize what it is I want to build. And then once I visualize what I want to build, that then gives me the beginnings, the start to start building it out. So you can't, you kind of look at an application as an elephant and you eat an elephant one bite at a time. But if you have no idea what the elephant even looks like, then you're already behind the eight ball. So what you need to do is come in and build a form. Now, I'm going to jump over to the project here, and I don't like mixing codes and code types. So we have our project folder and we have our start program. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new folder here, and we're going to call it forms. Or, yeah, forms, I guess. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to have forms. So now it doesn't show up in our project folder until we have code in there that we bring into our project. Then it will show up over here. So now that we have that, and I know I harp on getting a good form editor, but then again, that's more money being spent by you, and you could just be evaluating PureBasic. I do stress that your second purchase, when you can actually acquire a language, your second purchase should be to have a good editor for your forms. But in the interim, the built-in form engine that they have here is not that bad. So what I want to point out is I have over here forms. I went over into uh, preferences, and I'm going to kind of back up and walk. I hate videos that do things and don't tell you how they did them. So what I did was come back over here to the tools panel, and I added the form panel to the tools panel. Okay. Now, you don't have to do that. And just for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and remove it and say, okay, great. And so it's going to go away. And there it goes. It's gone. Okay. So now if I come over to form and say new form, he's going to come up with that panel and sit it on top of my screen for me. Okay. And if I click here, it's going to go behind, and then I got to come back and bring it back up. And it's a series of iterative, because you're going to be grabbing a button from here and dragging it to the screen and then filling this out. And every time you click over here, it's going to go away and it's going to keep vanishing on you. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and close that. Ooh, I did just realize he'll actually close and go away even though you changed him. Ooh, that's a little spooky. He didn't come back and say, hey, you've changed the screen. Do you want to save your work? So be careful of that. We just both learned something there. So come down here to Tools panel, and you can go to the, what is it, forms. Where are you, form panel? And go ahead and add that. It'll add it at the bottom. Where it gets added is no big deal. So we go ahead and say, okay. So he then updates this form panel for us. So we have our tab in there, and then it never goes away for us. So we can come out here and say, okay, we're going to create a new form. All right, now I've got my form over here on the right, and I can make it as big as I want. And then here's my actual form here. So every form, if you've ever, probably you haven't, but if you read the Microsoft standards for design, whoops, I want you over here. We're going to pull you down, and the bottom rightmost of your controls here needs to have a caption of cancel, right? So you can always cancel your form. You need to name the variable that is your button for code. And there's a lot of different methodologies for that. You can actually call it, you know, we have a variable name button here, so we can actually just say cancel, right? We can do this, and that's fine. Okay, so different graphical designers, these GUI designers, have different ways they do things and different customizations that you can utilize. So okay, so you can actually have the caption be a variable, and that would be important if you're going to try to write a multi-language sort of screen where you want to use a variable so it can then swap in French or, English or German or Russian or Portuguese or whatever it is you want to do. Or you can just say, no, it's just going to be the text in there, which is about 99.9% of everybody doing that. So the tooltip has the same thing, and you can come over here uh, and put in cancel all changes. So now we have a tooltip. Okay, great. So we have our button. Maybe we want to make our button bigger. Let's see if I can use a shift and hey, it does work. Okay, so if I hold the shift key down, then our grid, oh goodness, what is our grid set at? Our grid, I'll bet, is set at like 10 by 10. Let's go ahead and save. So let's do file save as, and let's see, let's go to forms and say main. That's a good one. Let's name this guy. Yes. Okay. There we go. So we're gonna have, and this ought to be a PBF. Whoops. Goodness. PBF. There we go. So that's PureBasic form as opposed to PB, which is a code project, or PBI, which is an interface. So now we've actually saved our form. So for grins, before we go changing things, let's see, we have it built. Let's see, let's go close this. And let's go open up our PBF and let's see what we get out here as code. I'm kind of curious. I did play with this a long time ago. My luck, it's going to open right back up like this. Okay, great. So, all right, let's go play around. Debugger, compiler, nah. Let's see, what do we get forms? Image manager. What is a image manager? Look at that. You can come in here and catch an image. Or, look at that. That's pretty neat. We'll have to play with that some. I honestly, I don't use this, so this will be interesting to me. Let's come up here and say we have common controls and okay, containers. Let's select our form. Here we go. Our form window needs a variable. He should be an FRM main. And you may think that that's kind of silly. We know it's a window, but I originally, in many languages ago, we used to actually use a suffix of what it is as a 2 to 3 digit code, and then the name of what it is. So forms were FRM. Buttons could either be CMD for command button. That was their original name way back in the day. And since then, they've just become buttons. So BTN is common, or just B. Excuse me. And then you have text fields, TXT. You have strings, which can either be STR or string. There was all these prefixes that everybody used in Microsoft, and the powers of the originating languages uh, enforced a lot of that. PL1 enforced a lot of that. That was how you did those languages, and it was beat into me by um, one of my mentors in programming many years ago. Uh, to name you use a name that you can look at it and it makes sense to you. So you have a caption on a window. I'm assuming this is going to be our title. So we can say application. That wasn't right. ICAT application main window. How about that? Okay, so when I hit enter, yep, look at that. We now have a title up here. That's doing pretty good. Go ahead and save our work. Where do we get to configure the grids and stuff in here? I know I've seen that somewhere. Oh well, we'll come across it at some point. Oh, you know where I'll bet it is? It makes all the sense in the world. It should be in preferences, shouldn't it? I don't like a 10 grid. 5 is about as the size grid that I want. So let's come down here to form grid size of 10. No. We're going to go with grid size of 5. What do we have here as options? Oh, what did we just do? Did we crash it or did we just save it? Oh, looks like it saved. Okay. Oh well, it doesn't matter what its formatting is. So now we have it as 5. So when I select this, I can adjust it by using the shift key and the arrow keys. I can adjust it in increments of 5 now. Okay, so the shift is down and I go up and it becomes narrower or wider, thicker, that kind of thing. I should be able to say, okay, I got a size. Do we have we don't, duplicate. Next best thing to clone. Okay, so if I select you and just use the arrow keys, I can move him around on the screen. Okay, so we want to make sure things are lined up, and you want to make sure things are the same size. So in your head, come up with a standardization, I guess, if you will, here, and we can come into this and say, okay, this ought to be a save. Microsoft's rolling in his grave. Bill Gates is, he's not dead yet. So, but he's rolling around somewhere going, Pete, it's okay. You don't need to say save. Save the keystrokes. Don't worry about it, Bill. Okay, so this is my save button. I figure in my thinking it takes the ambiguity out of things. Now, if you wanted, and if you notice, we just have the word save and the word cancel. If you wanted to hook up a hotkey like the Alt S or Alt C for these to be done automatically, come on over here and put a ampersand, the shifted 7, and that puts, and what we should see now when I hit enter, oh, well, isn't that cute? Normally that gives you the underscore on there. I don't know how they're doing that then. Let's see. PBNE is yeah, I stay away from using PBNE all the time. Let's see. Is it hidden disable? Okay, so these are things we can do. Oh, we can go to font. Always go to font. So um font is one of those things that there's too many of in my book. It's kind of it's to me it overstems me. There's too many choices, so I have certain ones that I particularly love. If I am doing something that needs every letter to be of the exact same size, so things line up beautiful, kind of like a crossword puzzle, then you would use Consolus is a great one. Terminal is another good one. For screens and stuff like that, I use Rockwell. It's just a very nicely readable. It's good and bold. It stands out. Pick whatever you like. You don't have to use Rockwell. Um, I mean, it's entirely up to you. This is your world you're creating. This is your beast you're creating. Um, think of it in terms like that. So, in my opinion, visually, that's a whole lot prettier than the default text. Everybody has their opinions, and that's fine. You're the creator here. You're the guy writing the code and designing the application. At some point in your life, you're going to be doing this for users, and then they will dictate to you how they want the application. So the less specific they are, the more leeway you have in your creation. But this is your creation. This is your, I think of it more in terms of programs and as code or DNA, and then when you compile it and execute it, it becomes alive and is a thing at that point. And so this is my baby that I'm building, and I want him to look just like this or her to look just like this. I want those to be this exact size, which is what, 110 by 30. That's a pretty, I hit between 100 and 110 by 30 on just about every application I write on button size. They need to be uniform. They need to be at the lower right. Process flow of forms is always top left to bottom right. So you go across at the same level with your eyes, and then you go down. And as you go down, you go across like this. So that's the basic flow of the layout of an application. Most of your IDE uh, designers, GUI designers, will actually put things in order by the order you put them on the screen. So that becomes the tab order. So if that is true for this particular editor, the tab initially will show up at cancel. Okay. So you'll have to go back and manage what is my tab order. Many languages actually make you go through and set your tab order of exactly What is the tab order? If somebody just sat there and your page comes up and they sit here and go tab, 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 what is the order that it's going to jump between all your fields on the screen? So PureBasic does a lot of things for you, which is nice, but always you have to caveat that with the understanding in your head that the more things that are done for you, many of those things are done to you because you can't change them. Okay. So you are now mandated to put up with their ordering of tabs or whatnot. The recourse of that is you have to take control of it. And this is where you can get your control freak out and build exactly what you want to see. So, okay, so we have our form here. The question is, how do we display the form? And then how do we tie the code all together? And I had to go refresh my brain a bit. It's been a long time since I've used this. And pretty much they're going to bind events for us. And that's a feature I don't use very much. So let's come down here and let's say, okay, select our cancel button. And let's come over here and scroll down. And we're going to have a cancel event procedure. Okay. So how about if we say cancel, or let's start with main, main cancel. Okay. That's going to be our procedure name. Over here on the save button, we'll scroll down and say, okay, this is really main. We're going to have a form here first, and then we can say save. And I think I hit a little extra key there. Okay, so there we go. And now let's go ahead and save. So we want to look at the code that this is generating for us. So if we come over here to our forms menu, we can switch to the code view. All right. So this is our code view. And we did not set a form. That's interesting. Oh, I wonder why he did that at the form level. I did that at the control level. Oh, well, I guess that's how he does it. I guess maybe I had to come up with a font name. That's kind of weird. Okay, you learn something new every day. So this is actually his code that's in our frm main.pbf out there. Okay, so he wants main cancel and then main save procedures to be created. He's come up here and actually declared them for us. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Let's see. Yeah, that'll do. And I want to jump back over to, let's see, our code view. And so what I've done is in playing around with this, we have to include our forms frm main tbf. That's what we saved our file as. And yeah, if I come here and we come over to our forms, we have a frm main pbf. That's what we're saving. And then if I look at the code view, he comes in and says, okay, you've got this open frm main, and you can give me different parameters if you want, but otherwise I'm going to take the defaults, which is just hunky-dory with me. And then he's actually built us an event loop that he's going to process and take the event, and he's going to call these functions when these buttons are clicked. Okay, so if we try to run this, it's going to have errors for us because we do not have the functions. So I set up a standard repeat loop, barest essentials, the event wait window, the select case, our main window, and frm events main, I'm kind of guessing on some of this. Let's go ahead and hit save and see what we get on a play. He doesn't like that. That's what I figured. So that's FRM main events. I'll betcha he's gonna want me to come out. This is pretty fierce actually. Yep, see that? Holy cow. Okay, I got it. My problem was this call right here. I came over and looked at their formula here, and that's what I was thinking that they were messing with. But the reality, oh geez, is what we're doing. All right, I've got it figured out finally. So we come over here and we create our main events. This is the events that we've created in the code. If we jump all the way back to the form guy here, and I select him, and let's jump to the form guy here. Okay, so I created event procedure is main cancel. And then here we created main save. Okay, so what he is generating, geez, this is convoluted in my book, but okay, we can figure it out. So he creates our declares for us right here. I thought we had to instantiate all three of these. This was the one I thought we had to do down in the code, but it's not. The names are just too close. What he wants us to do is, let me collapse all this junk to get it out of the way. He wants us to make a call to show the window, and then we begin our loop, and then we make a call here, okay, with the event procedure. Okay, now let's come over here and take a look at what we have. So here we're calling the window and instantiating the window and creating our window. Then we create our repeat loop, which gets the window event and then says, okay, select the window event. If the main window is, if it's our main window, I'm guessing that's the name of our window. I named it main, so it's main window, or maybe I called it main window. Then he's going to call this function. This is a call back to here, right here, to call this guy. Now here, he comes down and says, okay, are we playing with menus? Did you return close? Did you click a gadget? If you did, then I'm going to automatically call this function, and I'm going to automatically call that function. So here's where the procedure is going about the event loop. Very different than everybody I've ever seen do it. And then we have to then over here create these procedures. Oh my, that is kind of a back and forth jumble. But okay, it works. That's the main thing. Like I always say, if it works, it works. Doesn't have to be pretty. If it works, it works. So here we're getting our expected answers of doing this. Okay, so this is a way to create forms, and my next video is going to show you a different way to make forms. And so yes, that's going to conclude this. Oh, wow. I'm not even sure I want to put this out there, but you know, it's worth putting out there. Okay. Thanks for your time, folks, and wait for my next video.